what we're doing today is we're going to learn how to work in Docusign. We're going to learn how to do a buyer's offer is what we're going to show today. So when you log into Docusign for the first time, you're going to log into the signature page. So what this page is for is if you want to sign something that you have to sign, or it's a one-off form that you got to send off, or you want to use something that's even in a template. You would just hit start, send an envelope. That's if you're sending something to sign, or if you're just signing something yourself, you'd hit sign a document, or you could use a template. But what we're doing today, we're going to create a room. So the first thing we're going to do, we're doing it as a buyer contract. So the first thing we're going to do is switch to rooms. And then the next thing we're going to do is make sure that who we're writing the offer for is already in our contacts in DocuSign. So we're going to go up here and click on our picture, and then we're going to click on contacts. And then you want to add them to your address book. So if they're not in there, you would just click add contact, and then you could add them into your contact that way. So I added myself earlier, and I'm going to use myself as the example for this. So we're going to go back to the rooms tab, and we're going to add a new room because we have a buyer contract that we want to write. So I pulled a random property from the MLS in Cincinnati. So I'm going to use that. So the zip code is 4514140. And then the address is 181 Run. Okay, and then typically in the room name, you would put the address of the property. I'm just going to put test here since I'm just doing this to show you guys. The office is the Montgomery Seven Hills office. So you will typically just have your office as an option in there. This who I'm under has access to multiple offices, so that's why I have that many selections. And then it's going to be agent owner, and again, you'll just have an agent option there. And then it is the buy side. So we're going to hit save. So it's created the room for us. So here is all the details about the transaction. So it will have the address of the property. You can fill out as much as or as little as you want. By hitting edit, it will let you edit anything in here. But remember how we went and we added me to the contacts as the buyer. So we can go down here to buyer one and go to actions, fill from contacts, then go to your address book. And then that person should be in there, and you hit fill contact. So we've done that. Now we need to add our documents. So we're going to go over here to documents. And then your office is set up templates for you already. So what you would do is go to add and then DocuSign forms. And then you'll see Ohio buyer forms there. So you would click all of these. You don't actually need the data collection, and this one here you don't need. So you can unclick those, hit add selected. So it's going to pull all the forms in there for you. You have to add like the seller's disclosure or the lead-based paint or any other attachments that might need a buyer signature or initials. So I've downloaded those already. So I'm going to go and grab those. That right there. So, and then I don't have an agency disclosure on here either. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one as well, which I had downloaded. So now that we have all of our forms in there, in the next section, I'm going to show you how we fill them out and we send them. Okay, so now we have all of our forms in there, so now we need to fill them out. So what you will do is we'll start with the property disclosure. So when you pull it up, you're going to see that everything is in there as far as like the seller's initials and stuff, but you need to add the buyer's initials. So you're going to click on here and you're going to click create envelope. And then here you can do, if you're sending it to multiple people, you can set a signing order to where one person one signs and number two signs and so forth. I don't like to send them that way. I always unclick that. So we're going to click on here for our address book. And then there's the person that you want to send it to. So apply selected. And then in here, you can do a custom email if you want, totally your call. And then you hit next. And then now's where you're going to add all of your initials. So you just go up here, and if there was more than one person, it would show them over here on this side with everything that you would need. So you're going to go over here, initial. So here's where it would show if you had more than one person. Initial. And then you want to add their signature and the date. And then all you would do is hit send, and then that will send it to that person for them to sign. And then once they're done, you'll get a notification that they have signed it. And then let's say you're going to fill out the contract here. So you would click on the contract to purchase. And then once that pulls up, you can fill out everything in the contract the way that you want it. Everything in the blue are sort of like dotloop, actually kind of just like dotloop, where you would just click in the box and you can type in whatever you want. And then once it's done, then you will just save it, save and close. And then you can send it for signatures. So you clicked on it again, and then you want to click on the document actions, and then create envelope. And then here it's going to give you the option of which buyer. So we're going to do, we only have the one buyer, so we're going to hit buyer one. And then it puts that in there for you already. And then it'd be the same thing. You hit next, and then you fill in the signatures and anywhere that needs initialed, and then send it. Now, each form has to be sent individually. So you would have to do that with each form that you need to send for signatures. So you would fill them out, and then you would send them. And then you would fill the next one out, and then send it. So, and again, you would get a confirmation that it's been done. And then it'll show on your home page as well as being completed.